we're back with the human anatomy torso, and I have the PureRef open with the images that I've handed out. The main one being the landmark one. So I had cropped it, right? So I just want to remind everyone that PureRef is extremely powerful, and you just have this one pager of some shortcut keys that I'm still trying to memorize. So to resize or to reset a crop, Control Shift C. So I go over here and I hit Control Shift C, and that brings that back. And hope this isn't too dark on screen. But these are the major landmarks that we're looking at, right? Incredibly important to know where all the bony protrusions are. Both the front for the collarbone, the back diagonal, where the scapula, spine of the scapula is, where the trapezius hooks up. So I'm going to bring this back in here. And I'm going to put it back on overlay mode. We're going to reduce the overlay, the opacity. So if I hit over here, and it is a 4-button click, it's kind of difficult. So it's Control Alt Shift click drag. So go back in here, Control Alt Shift click drag. There we go. So we'll just assume that works okay. Then it's a Control Y once more to put it on top on overlay. So we'll go in here, Control Y. There it is. Pretty hard to see, honestly. Maybe I try and Control Alt Shift left click back to a little bit more sanity. There we go. Just whatever works, like play with it for your own settings. I have the double challenge here of trying to get it to show up on the recording as well. So, and then Control T to freeze the overlay. So it's on Control Y. Now if I hit Control, let me make this a little bit bigger actually. Let's see, there we go. Maybe up to, and if it's off screen, that's fine. I just want to, there we go. And then I think Control Y. Oops. Oh, it was already on Control Y. That's right. And then to freeze it. Right. So once we want to freeze this piece right here, and I'm looking at my notes as I go, so bear with me here a little bit. So freeze is Control T again. So Control T. Okay. So now I can only click in ZBrush, and if I hit Tab, I can get rid of my UI and really maximize my space in here. Right. So this is really invaluable landmarking right here, so you can get your model in there. The problem with these, of course, in the relaxed pose, they always got the dang legs together. Trying to get the relaxed pose with the legs apart for rigging, with the arms out in more of an A pose for rigging is super challenging. So let's do that. So go down the lowest poly count. Right now, honestly, I totally am messing up the shoulder armpit. There shouldn't be a gap here between the bicep and the rib cage. So I just got to go in and fix that. That's just an error on my behalf. So go in here and we'll mask off these parts. Shift F if you need to see. Control click to do a gradient smooth on the fall off on the mask, or Control click an empty space to reverse. I think that's going to be okay. I'll come in here with E and unlock reset, bring it up to the deltoid. This is probably the hardest part, really, getting of the postures, getting the arms, the armpit just right. Relock it and bring that back in again. There you see it's a little bit of a push in there. If I need to do the gradient a little more, go back to Q, Control tap one time. Now it's going to really push in more than I want. You're just going to have to finesse it a little bit at a time. There we go. So just to where the biceps touching the rib cage. I think that's better. I should have a better roadmap. So sorry about that. The other part here is Control click drag on the outside. Is the hips are a little bit narrow for this character. Now that could be body type for sure. I'm going to try and get something in the middle between a wider and thinner, and just get a medium. So Clo in here. Control click, maybe going back into Q, Control, and then if I Control click Alt, I can try to take away some of the, oh well, yeah, that's just brushing on there. Some of the groin region, so that I can go in here and bring it down, unlock, bring it right down to your pivot where you want, relock it. Those of you and done the Maya videos with me realize how much easier this is than Maya, or probably, oh yeah, see it's off center already, dang it, that's annoying. Um, but yeah, let's see if I can do this better. So let me go off of there again. Let me get this just on the leg and just the outer hip. Click and then control click and then E again. Let's see if I get a smoother. Yeah, it's still going to be off. I don't know if there's an easy way to do this, honestly, there. So I'm just going to take the legs out a little bit like that. Quick drag just to thin it out. Go back to my move tool, control V, and bring that out a little more. There we go. So he's a little wider now in that direction, and I think the hip to shoulder ratio is a little bit more realistic. He was like super narrow waist and really broad shouldered in a manner that I thought was like not really matching up to the anatomy. So as we can see over here on the landmarks, um, to the side here, the saddle, the oblique follows the. I have a good edge loop right here along the top for the oblique to be, and so we can go down smaller, and we can bring that oblique out. Let me subdivide one time. If you do want to get this, there's a little bump there. Sorry for the oblique. I can really kind of accentuate that some more, and I can go in here. That falls off, and I can actually pull out this muscle group right here. So pull that thigh out a little bit. His legs are still a little too narrow. Under here, the inside, outside pull. His knees are a little bit lower. Again, that could be a body type. Let's try and get it mostly dead center though. This is our neutral base mesh, right? So we're gonna get that one up here, maybe that one up there like that, just a little bit, and then we'll come back down and we'll make sure we pull that kneecap forward a bit and the back of the calf comes up higher, right? So this overlap touches up here on this edge loop. The knee comes down and touches below that edge loop. And then you'll see over here um, from the side model here, there's a front muscle in the shin that curves outward. Remember, all of your curves should be going in the right direction. That is critical. That there's an arc flow. Every edge loop at this point, we're trying to get a little bit of an arc flow. Make sure it's going the right direction. There's a little arc here and a little bump right there. Maybe I'll come back to that bump. There's a good gluteus maximus bump right there. We can go in here as well as below it. It kind of dips in with the creases, curves, and then curves back out again. So I want to curve that back out again a little bit. So I'm just touching. Just go in here, touch kind of like with, here's the gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and that's from the back view, right? I'm looking at that one over there. Try to pinch the gluteus maximus together a little bit more. So if I go here, you'll see there's still a separation there. So I started sculpting, but really right now you want to subdivide once and get in there and really bring the gluteus maximus together. Right, there we go, like that. And smooth one more time. You can see it's getting a little closer. There we go. And you can see over there where the tailbone comes into play. And this is curving like that. Looks okay. This is going to curve outwards some more. The size of the latimus muscles should really be way out there. So we're going to keep on pushing the lats out. And his arms are still disproportionately skinny, I think. I wish there was a way to change the color of the wireframe. I think there is. I just forget. But yeah, that should be a good primer. Now, if I go down here and I just click on the PureRef one time, that'll undo the freeze. So I just click on the app itself icon, and it immediately disables the transparent mode. So now if I click here, I'm back into PureRef again. Right. So if I needed to crop this and blow up a spot to work on, I can. But let's just leave that for now. And I'm going to go back in to here, and we're just going to look at the face for a moment because this face is really wonky. It's just a doughy kind of, looks like a scary mask. Almost looks like a scary clown mask. So go all the way down, Shift D, and we'll come in here and let's get the brush down. Again, I'm just using the Move Topological brush for almost all of this, so no need to see every single brush stroke. So subdivide one time though, and hit Control B, and you got to get oh wow, that was really strong, 20% intensity. Wow, I think my focal shifts got a little intense. Now, I think bringing out the muscle out here along the side and defining the nasolabial right here will go a long ways in improving this. So let's go one more. there, and let's do the damn standard. So it's that Alt M, right? Nice and small, and let's slash in where we want that landmark to go. Should come down here and then back behind the lip, right? Maybe a little bit more in line. Sometimes you got to go bottom up to get these right. Now I don't think either one of those are good strokes, so I'm going to just do it again. Come back again. There we go. And then smooth it out a little bit. Again, my default for smooth is always going to go back. I wish there's a way to just remember the last settings you have for the brushes. Play this little game. Go back down the lowest subdivision, Control V, grab the lips, and we have the basic arc of the lips. It's not banana lips, right? They do not touch and come to a corner at the corner of the mouth. They actually go back and have thickness at the width of the cheek. So we're going to bring this down and this arc up and this arc down, right? So it goes down and up again and then down again. That's pretty standard. And subdivide one more time. Move topological means if I grab this point here, it's not going to grab the lip below it. It's got that like the surface fall off for soft select in Maya, right? The bottom lip has the muscle group right here, so let me go down one more subdivision. And I would follow along with what I'm doing here. You can see my sub Ds. I'm going from 1 and D up to 3. I'm just between 1 and 2 right now. I'm really not, you can use the inflate brush for lips. It still holds pretty true. You see it grabs both sides though, so yeah, I'll just stick with the move topological. Um, yeah, Control B, maybe beef these up a little bit here, go back out here to the side corner, and keep beefing this part up right out here. Maybe push in this little dip right here, go up a subdivision, smooth out a little, Alt M, back even a little bit more, Shift D all the way to the bottom, Control V, and keep making sure this corner crux of the lips, just you're gonna have to fix it anyway as you go. Whoops. Yeah, when you get really close, it likes to move the whole thing. I'm not really quite sure why that happens. But there, I'm just kind of evening these out a little bit as we go, so that way um, the subdivide one more. That way the anatomy makes sense of how the curves are going on there. There we go. So that's a tiny bit better, at least. Control B, you need some of the fleshy region here below. Whoops. The lower part of the lip. Mhm. And then the bony protrusion of the chin, of course, which is very pronounced. It's one of our main landmarks. Side of the jawline. Coming here, that ear hole should be dead center right here. So for this one's pretty close. I can go Shift D all the way to the bottom, Control V. The curve kind of comes back a lot. Although there is a curve there, it's not that pronounced. So we kind of get that jawbone. If you look at your skeleton and your jawbone, also watch out for anything getting too wonky down under here. I'm not really happy with the way these edge lips terminated here under the neck. I think I would rather have those curved together underneath this way, down towards the sternum. So I would actually change that, fix that, so that this edge lip here goes down to help create the nape of the neck a little bit better. But, you know, the face is a constant battle to um, improve upon. So there we go. So now we get down a little bit more. Whoa. And this is just really strong. I don't know why. It's like 10, 11%. My goodness. It's just like, yeah, there we go. So it's on the sides here and underneath here, right? And then underneath right here under the jawline, we can actually use the Alt key and maybe bring that jawline. The throat is back out. Look at it from underneath. And let's see if I have perspective on. There we go. Perspective on, off. It makes a big difference. There we go. And you can look at your jawbone and see if it needs to be curved out, right? And clearly this one does need to come outward a little. It's buckling in right here. And that's, again, talk about getting your curves. Little touch, all your curves should be going the correct direction at this phase. That's what we're mostly doing here. So I want to get all that fixed up. There we go. then shift. Double check my shift isn't at 100%. Calendar 23rd. There we go. It's not gonna nuke any of the details. There we go. The front of the lip here kind of it's got like razor thin lips. You definitely want something in the middle between thick lips and razor thin lips. So we'll go down here to lowest sub D. We'll see if I can move this without it moving the whole model. There we go. And kind of unfold it, so to speak, and get some fullness to the lips there. And then if I can get inside the mouth here, we'll do some polygroups and we'll do some major movements there as well. There we go. Just double check in every once in a while. I do have my symmetry tool on. It's easy to hit the the X key, turns it on and off. I have activate symmetry really bright over here in the interface. This is really going to come forward right here at the corner side of the lip. So go one more. There we go. And let's really beef up this corner edge. Just the outside of the lip curls back and inward, right? So if we can capture that meat out here, muscle, and how that kind of curls, and it creates one side of the thickness you would see for the nasolabial above it. There we go. Keep going with it. And back to low sub D again. See where my edge lips currently are. Looks like they've definitely pushed in a little bit more than I would have wanted. Control N, bring it down some more. And it's just trying to, if all these edge lips are scrunched together, you gotta like unscrunch them, right? And bring that forward. Make sure there's a curl, the horseshoe shape, like look at it from the top down, bottom, and make sure there's as much of an arc going back as possible. And we'll talk about more of the overlapping arcs as we get closer and closer to finishing. But for a first pass, that's a little bit better. I think the chin is very rounded. So if I go one subdivision, yeah, so we'll go lowest subdivision here. And let's make sure that chin bone actually comes forward. There's a real bony protrusion. There we go. And then subdivide it and you see it. It smooths everything out for you pretty well. Okay, the lips and I'm sorry, the eyelids, the eye socket is also really kind of marshmallowed out. It kind of softened out everything. So we'll have to come back to that one as well. I'm going to pinch that. I'm going to pinch the inside of the eye socket. Pinch this bone. The bridge of your nose, if you pinch inside above, it's a very, very narrow bone with some meat in there. So you can kind of almost always, that needs to be pinched tighter at this phase of the game. You can also go up to the top of the temples, the skull. We can pinch that in the temple region right here. Should be very flat. On the side, this kind of curls around, and he has no ears. I just realized, darn, I have to go back. Fix this model anyhow. All right, but that's what everyone's mostly doing right now. So they're going back and fixing. I'll hit D one more time. There we go. And yeah, you can see that we are getting the rib cage just barely touching the arm now. That's working pretty good. And smooth one more time. And there we go. So it's a little bit better. I think the eye sockets, so we'll go Alt M back to down standard. And let's see, I'm at subdivision 1 and 2. Probably about good enough. Maybe go back to subdivision 1 or 2, I should say. So it's been subdivided one time. And you push in where that eye socket is. Like, let's really know for sure that the eye socket is that edge loop right there. Right, that's really important at this phase. Maybe he'll look a little older. I'm okay with it for right now. We can go back and forth with aging and anti-aging. Our base biped mesh, right? It's still just a base. That pinch there worked pretty good. I think the other one we can define in the eyelid is right here. So I still have damn standard on, and I'm going to go. Doesn't need to be the same edge loop, equal. So the above and below the eyelid, the eye socket, we're going to have different edge loops come into play here. I think right about here is probably a good spot, or the one below it. So I'll go maybe divide one more time, turn on my, sorry, that polyframe is so dark. I'll look into polyframe, color change. There we go. I'm going to just follow that edge all the way, make sure I'm on the same edge. So we get a nice fold for the eyelid. There we go. Down to the side. Then we're going to battle with the tear duct because this is the older model that I'm working from, and it did not have a tear duct. And for the muscle, really emphasized enough. So it's going to not show up as well, right? But there you go. If you subdivide those, it smooths it out for you very nicely. So you're already kind of, got something reasonable to work with. It does have eyelid. He has no eye sockets. All good. Okay, so that's, I think, getting somewhat closer on the neutral part here. Let's save this and let's look at the female model.